I want to get to our guest right now about what we wanted to discuss with Chairman Jason Smith, who is the representative from Missouri's 7th District. He is also the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. About the Bobulinski hearing, we're hearing a lot of today, the reports coming out today from that hearing. Chairman Smith, thank you for being on the show with us today. It's good to have you. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I didn't put you on there. Chairman Smith, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
There
It's
you
great
go.
to be with you, Annie.
Thank you so much. I mean, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about this House Intel Congressman Turner threat if you want to, but I also want to ask you about the Bobulinski hearing and give you an opportunity to set the table for the people in Missouri here that you represent. What did you hear from Bobulinski yesterday that has you on the edge of your seat to want to tell voters and taxpayers what you are learning in these hearings behind closed doors?
Yeah, Annie, yesterday, Tony Bobulinski's testimony, it underlines and further confirms that Joe Biden was the brand and the family business was selling access to him all over the world. Whistleblower evidence provided to my committee just over 7 months ago showed Hunter Biden in communication with his business associates referred to his father as his family's only asset and stated he was unwilling to sign over the family's brand. We had Tony yesterday confirm that the brand is Joe Biden, that they were selling all over the country and receiving tens of millions of dollars from countries that are not our friends, such as China, Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the continuation of these stories that come out, and they're consistent. Tony Bobulinski's story has been consistent from the moment he opened up about this to this point in time right now. We see money that has come in, that the representatives on these committees have been able to articulate, here's where the money came in, and this is where it went based on bank records. If the money is coming into the Biden family, what was going out?
So Tony Bobulinski's story has stayed the same. The IRS whistleblowers' story has stayed the same. Whose stories have not stayed the same is the Biden family and the Justice Department. I mean, Joe Biden, Annie, stood up in front of the American people and lied when he said he had no knowledge of his family's business dealings. But Tony Bobulinski testified to us yesterday of the specific time, the date, location of a 45-minute conversation where he briefed Joe Biden in 2017 about their business relationship with the Chinese government and Chinese energy companies. And then 3 years later, Joe Biden was on the debate stage debating President Trump in the 2020 election, and he said that his son had received zero money from Chinese companies or Chinese entities, and that he knew nothing of his son's business dealings. We know that that's not true, and Tony Bobulinski confirms it.
We're speaking with Chairman Jason Smith, the representative from Missouri's 7th District and the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. The consistency of the people who are blowing the whistle on Joe Biden, on Hunter Biden, the family business and brand that was the Biden brand, the consistency is there. You know, a lot of people, I saw this, I saw you on Fox News last night, and everyone wants to know, are you going to impeach him? Are you going to impeach him? That seems like a political end that doesn't really solve the problem for the American people. What is the question, Congressman, that you want to get to the bottom of in your investigation of Hunter Biden and his connection to Joe Biden? What's the million-dollar question here for you?
It's not just one, Annie. There are so many things that we still need answers to, but I'll just tell you what we do know. And we clearly know that Joe Biden knew what his family was doing, and he could have stopped it at any point. But he didn't. And it was not because he didn't know or wasn't involved. We've already shown that he did know and that he was involved. It was because he was a willing participant. Actually, yesterday, Tony Bobulinski testified and said that he wasn't just a participant. He was an enabler of his family's business access to himself. What they provided was just access to the president. Tony even testified yesterday, Annie, and said that the only reason why China, Russia, these countries was coming and giving them money is because Joe Biden was vice president.
Wow. I mean, what we're talking about here is Joe Biden, who's, of course, the president of the United States, then being the vice president, and also after his time as vice presidency. Now we're being told that he's a well meaning elderly man with a poor memory. I mean, it seems like it might be beneficial for the president to be very forgetful in this moment in time. Do you see a scenario where what your conversations are with Tony Bobulinski, your hearings with Hunter Biden, leads to a questioning of the president of the United States?
This is all leading to the president of the United States. This is all about the impeachment inquiry that's going into him. All roads lead to him, and so that's what we're clearly researching. The whole issue about the president not being charged for having classified documents in his possession because he's an elderly man highlights the two-tiered legal system and the issues that we have. I mean, the fact that that would be his defense, that's why myself, James Comer, and Jim Jordan on Monday sent a letter to the Attorney General of the United States, because we want to see that those transcripts from that interview back in October, and I want to see any videos, because if Joe Biden really can't recall when his son died, and if he can't really recall what were the dates that he was vice president of the United States, boy, we're in a mess.
Yeah, we sure are. Congressman Jason Smith with us right now. If you were able to gain access to those documents, transcripts, and potentially videos, does that mean that American folks just like us sitting at home would be able to have access to those too, potentially?
You bet. I believe that the American people deserve to see those transcripts, and they deserve to see any of those videos, because the more transparency and open light that can be brought to what is happening with the Biden administration is exactly what the people are hungry for.
Well, Congressman Smith, we thank you for the time today. And I understand that Congressman Turner has come out with this request for a declassification of these documents that involve this potential threat. I don't know how much you know about this yet, but do you feel as though with an instance like this coming from Congressman Chairman Turner that we will, as the American people, get the information that we need to know about this potential threat that apparently exists?
So, first off, our country has threats all the time. I will be brief later on in regards to what Congressman Turner has been suggesting, but believe me, we have a lot of folks out there that are not our friends. It's called the Chinese, the Russians, North Koreans, the Iranians. There's a lot of folks that don't like us, and so we're constantly under threat. I don't believe that this is one that needs to be raised to concerns, but I haven't
Right.
been briefed, and I will be briefed later on. And if I believe it should, you better believe I'll be demanding that it be declassified.
We appreciate that. We know you're representing that district in the state of Missouri, the 7th District, very well. We're grateful to have you on the show today. Please come back with us as you continue to get to the bottom of what is going on with this Hunter Biden, Joe Biden connection, because the American people do deserve to know, and we are always grateful that you are serving them in that capacity.
They do. It's great to be with you, Annie. Annie, it's an honor.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.